Hey, what's up guys, it's ElasticSpyder here, and in today's video we are looking at some very low tier gameplay as compared to what we've been putting up as of late. We are looking at the tier 5 US American destroyer, the Nicholas. Now it's been way too long since I've last played this ship. A lot of times if I do decide to go down to SEAL Club, usually it's playing in the Clemson, but today I've decided to go with the Nicholas. One, because, well, I bought the ship, and two, I'm playing with my buddy Input Hercules, who is grinding his Japanese cruisers, so he's in his Furitaka. So, the Nicholas, well, my captain is pretty standard. It's party target, last stand, superintendent if you have it, or you can go with survivability expert and then concealment. And then, of course, the modules, again, very simple at this tier. Main armors mod 1, damage control or propulsion, and then accuracy if you have it, or you can do AA range, whatever you feel like. Now, with the upgraded hull, you are able to slot defensive fire on the Nicholas. And so the first thing I'm going to do is, well, I'm a US destroyer, so I'm going to engage an IJN destroyer. Most of the time at this tier, Japanese destroyers don't really understand that they have guns, and they can use them for ambush purposes. So I ambush that Kamikaze R, and I take a nice bit of damage off of him, 5k to be exact. And now he's down quite a bit of health. Now he's actually looking like he's going to be slowly moving out of smoke. So I'm going to go dark and try and maintain my position on the cap. So this is a single carrier game. Now you can see double carrier, but single carrier is just pretty frequent actually. But one stipulation is that they don't have manual drop. So they are only bound to auto dropping, which helps destroyers quite a bit against big SEAL Clubber carriers. So I think that this destroyer is still in the smoke. But with my concealment sitting at 5.8, I don't want to get too close, especially with a Clemson, so I decide to smoke up and start pelting that Clemson while our carrier is spotting him if I could hit anything. Now, I know that the enemy destroyer is in the smoke, so I do want to keep moving a little bit, which means I'm going to have to go off the cap. But my torpedoes unfortunately missed that Kamikaze R, but they're looking like they are going to crowd out that Clemson quite well if they have the range, which they might not. The Nicholas only has 5.5 kilometer torpedo range, which is quite lackluster in comparison. So again, Kamikaze R gets spotted, so I'm going to gun him down. Unfortunately, he hits me quite hard and my engine's out, and I decide to repair that. I should have waited another 2 seconds when he shoots that salvo, and then while he's shooting it, I can actually pen him, and also when he pens me and knocks out my engine, well, I can instantly repair it, and I don't have a broken engine. And that way I can accelerate a little bit faster, and I don't get slammed like that by a battleship for a little over 4.5k. Nonetheless, that is still okay, because battleships have a longer reload, which means that I have some time to go dark and reanalyze the situation. Now that's probably the worst thing you could do in my situation there, is actually go stern on, and you can kind of see that because when the battleship shell, since it's such a large caliber, it actually will overpen your stern, but then since it's going through all of your ship, it'll actually do a lot more damage than originally anticipated. So while you do minimize your target, the target of your ship, unfortunately that also means that you are putting yourself in a position such that you are going to be able to get full pen, which is not ideal. So in that scenario, sometimes it might be better to actually sit a little bit more broadside than actually angle. So I decided I'm too low health to go after that Giulio Cesare on a YOLO torpedo run, so I decide to pull out. And then I also look on the minimap and see that there's a few battleships going in the channel around G34. So I want to kind of set up for that, but first I want to get the cap. So my plan here right now, for the most part, is to cap A, and then if I can, farm that Isuzuchi. If that guy dies, then farm the Giulio Cesare. And then once they kind of are undetected / killed for the most part, I want to go after these battleships. But seeing that those battleships seem to have committed quite heavily, I'm going to go sit at this corner and try to counter them. Now the Nicholas has a very quick reload. We're seeing 10 seconds, and that's about 80%. So I would think it's about 40-ish seconds, roughly, give or take. I would say 10 seconds to get a full torpedo reload off. So here in this position, they don't know I'm here, and that's the biggest thing about this position that I'm currently at. This Giulio Cesare doesn't know I'm here, and same with these battleships. Now, okay, so it's slightly over a minute for my torpedoes. But that's a lot of time. A lot of time for my torpedoes to reload, but also it's a lot of time for them to come back. So first set looks pretty good. As soon as I realized that I didn't pen that HE salvo right into his upper belt armor, I'm going to switch to AP and hopefully start getting some pens more on his superstructure. These torpedoes hit decently hard. I land 3 of them and land 27k damage, which is a little over 3/4 of his HP. And then as soon as I can actually hit his superstructure with HE, well, that's what I'm going to be sticking with, especially now that his damage control is down. Get a fire, which is nice. I do have to be careful here with my detection while shooting in smoke. It is not the best, so I'm going to have to hold off here. I believe it's 2.4, or maybe it is 2 kilometers, but I need to get him killed, so I decide to fire that time and then get him killed there, which is nice. And then would you look at that, my torpedoes are reloaded. So had I not shot that guy there, my torpedoes probably would have been reloaded in time to smack him really hard. So here I've got 2 options. I can either farm that Giulio Cesare, or well, if you look at the score, or about 300 points up, got a decent ship lead. So I'm thinking, well, you know, farming that Giulio Cesare would be nice, but I think I'm going to go YOLO these 2 battleships. Now, when I say YOLO, well, I'm just going to rush them and hope for the best. Now, does that mean that I will actually get rewarded for it? Well, we'll have to wait and see. The carrier looks like he wants in on some of the action, so he's dropping some torpedoes, hopefully making these battleships turn. And he does smack that corvette pretty hard. Thankfully, though, a couple of the battleships already shot, and now I'm going to launch 1 set at the corvette, turn in, try to dodge this torpedo, and I got a little bit lucky there that was only a overpen, but I did manage to get that tier 4 French battleship with 2 torpedoes. Now here, a bit of a misplay. Should have landed 1 a little bit more to the left and then 1 right on, but I decide against that, so actually my shells will miss. Alright, those torpedoes will miss, and then I decide to put 1 too far to the right, which means that all of those torpedoes will actually miss, which is really unfortunate because I didn't expect the Wyoming to have that good of a turning radius, let alone a great turning or rudder shift. So that surprised me a bit. Something that I didn't expect to have very maneuverable battleships at these lower tiers. But that is kind of what they're all about. The higher tiers, you have a lot of fast, hard-hitting battleships, and at the lower tiers, you still have hard-hitting battleships, but they are, for the most part, quite maneuverable. Unfortunately for this Wyoming, though, my torpedoes are reloaded, which means that I get to launch more, and he's trying to avoid them. I've got AP loaded. I'm just going to aim at the butthole, and there's 2k damage, and then another, well, 700 damage, bounce most of those shells. But you can still see there, I end up getting the kill there. The something that a lot of people don't understand is that the armor plates on those the stern and bow ends of battleships is very nice penetration points for both destroyers and cruisers. The cruisers is a little bit easier to hit, but those are very, very nice penetrating spots besides the superstructure that most people don't even consider to shoot at. And well, when you only have, I don't even know what the Wyoming has. I want to say 16 millimeters, but let's just say it's 16 millimeters of stern armor. You know, you're gonna pen that all day at close range with your AP in the Nicholas, and there's no doubt about that. So, and well, Citadel with HE, all right. So I'm just gonna aim for more Citadels, because why not? And then also pop my defensive fire and disperse some of the bombers. And that is, I guess, the main reason why you would take defensive fire. Now, the Nicholas doesn't have great AA, but, I mean, who cares? I just want to farm some plane kills and hopefully don't die from this carrier. Who actually had, for an auto drop, had a very nice hit on me for a couple thousand damage. But I do end up getting that Citadel on that carrier, and then for a Kraken Unleashed. Let's see if this drop will actually kill me. Ooh, it's kind of dangerous. These straight-on drops are sometimes... you have to be careful about them. So, with only the Kuma alive, the Kuma's going to kill our... Isokaze, and then our New York is just going to get basically shredded. And for the most part, I'm just going to farm some plane kills. I think I end up getting like 6 or 7 plane kills at the end here, so I'm not going to force you guys to watch that, so let's move on to the post-battle results. So I ended up farming a few extra plane kills just to boost my base XP a little bit more. I didn't think I would get nearly as much credits and XP if I farmed 6k off that New York, but I managed to get 118k damage, 132 shell hits, 7 torpedo hits, 8 plane kills, which is pretty, I would say, pretty outstanding for the tier 5 destroyer. 5 kills with the Kraken Unleashed, 4 fires, 4 citadels, all of which were on the bow, which was interesting in a solo cap, with a Confederate Kraken and then high caliber as well to finish off the match. Very nice game overall. 22-33 base XP. Like I said, 5 kills, 8 plane kills. My buddy in the Furutaka, well, he went down a little bit earlier than he expected, but he still did all right though. He has since gotten better though. That's what everyone was looking for. Does he get better? Yes, he does get better, and I can confirm that. But I had to carry this team, not too hard, but. I would say there's a nice solid gap between first place and second place. Either way, damage distribution, a lot of torpedo hits, and that's basically where the American destroyers come to shine, is at those lower tiers, and even sometimes at the mid tiers, is most time just late game YOLOing. That's a lot of times what it is. For the most part, they're decent gunboats. At the low tier, you could pretty much bully any other destroyers that you want, but when facing battleships, you're gonna have to use your smoke and shoot that way. Otherwise, you just gotta YOLO with your torps, because you can't stealth torp. And we kind of saw a little bit of that there. Not really, mostly gunning down other destroyers and then just smoke shooting. But for the most part, it was a nice replay. Credits, well, it's tier 5, but it's still made with premium 300k. Which is very, very nice. I hope you guys enjoyed this lower tier gameplay. If you did, leave a like and subscribe, and let us know, because I know a lot of you guys want to see lower tier stuff, and for the most part we put out high tier stuff, but let us know. I'll try and get more games, and I'm sure Puddin will try and do the same, as well as Sneaky Snake for that matter. Try and get some lower / mid tier games, and you know, also the other thing too is a lot of times I like to, when I do stream, maybe I'll jump down a few tiers and play some of the lower tiered ships of a lot of the nations. I don't have every ship, but I'm working on it. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. If you are interested, I probably will be streaming around, again, noon Eastern, again, give or take 15-20 minutes. So if you guys are interested, feel free to tune in. Twitch.tv/ElasticSpyder, as well as on BIA YouTube channel. Anyways, have a wonderful day, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good one. Bye-bye.